What's up, guys? Coach Seth here, Superior Athletes. And today I wanted to go over something that I've sort of talked about, but not fully, not into this capacity. So I did do a video on this that was talking more of strength, and I talked a little bit about plyometrics and agility, but I didn't even bring up skills. But I'm just going to talk about like the scheduling of these, how often to train all of these in a week. Basically what's going to be the most beneficial for you, that I feel is going to be the most beneficial for you, for how often to train all of these metrics in a week. So we're going to talk about 4 different things here: strength training, skills training, plyometrics, and agility training. So all of these 4 metrics kind of flow into each other, and really almost all of these is about all of the things that we work on with our sports performance, getting better for our sport. I usually specifically talk about basketball, but you can probably use this for anything for the most part. We're going to be like, it's not in the middle of the season, so just keep that in mind as well. But yeah, we are going to talk about all 4 of these and how often we need to be doing all of these. But if you're new here, my name is Seth Thomas. I'm a strength and conditioning coach, and I help you guys get stronger, more athletic, and more agile so you can perform better for your sport. So if you're interested in more videos just like this one, make sure to subscribe and click the bell to get notified for each one of my videos. All right, so my last video, I talked a little bit about this, but I didn't get too specific. So with, let's just say strength training, resistance training, we need to be doing this weekly. We need to be doing this pretty often. How often do we do this? That's going to depend on what type of split we have. I talked about in that previous video that one of the better ones as far as splits go is going to be upper and lower body. Some people do just full body exercise or full body workouts, and that works too. Really just comes down to what works best for you. I don't think you should go any more than that. I don't think you should separate the upper body muscles. I think you should just keep it upper and lower at least, just to simplify things and to be able to get them in more often in the week, because ultimately that's what's proven to be more beneficial for the body, is to lower the volume in your workouts and then just get them more often throughout the week. So that's the idea with just making an upper and lower body split. So if you're doing an upper and lower body split, I always recommend 2 to 3 times a week as far as resistance training goes. So that's going to mean about 4 to 6 days a week of just strictly resistance training. And now, actually, whenever we're talking about agility and plyometrics, this is all going to depend on your goals as well. So you got to keep this stuff in mind, and it's going to depend on where you're at in your training. But let's just say in general aspects, I usually train both of these for the most part with my lower body days. So I use this, maybe go through some slight agility training as part of like the initial stages of the workout, just to kind of progress the warm-up. And that leads into the plyometrics, and then that leads into the strength. So that's a good way you could do it. And so in that sense, you're getting all of these 3 times a week, because that's how often we get lower body in this scenario. So 2 to 3 times a week would probably be pretty good as far as agility and plyos goes. Like I said, if your goals are different, you feel like you don't need as much focus on like your change of direction and your agility, you can pull back the volume on that, or even the days of that. So maybe you just do agility twice a week, and then the plyometrics 3 times a week along with your lower body resistance training. And then you vice versa, or even altered a little bit more. Just do a little self-evaluation of what you're at and what you want, and then just go from there. So the big one that I didn't really talk about in my last video is skills training. So the question is, how often should we do skills training? I'm going to speak in a sense of basketball here. That's what I'm most knowledgeable of. So we're going to talk about basketball skills training in this video. So how often should you actually be working on your game? You guys probably get tired of me saying this, but it's all going to depend on a lot of different metrics. A lot of people are probably going to say, well, just do it as much as possible. Do it 3 hours a day if you can. That's a little over exaggerated probably. So let's just say an hour a day. Hour a day of skills training. In my opinion, I don't think that's necessary. Is it good? Yeah, absolutely. If you want to be, if you're a professional or anything like that, if you're doing this for a full-time job and you can make that happen, then yes, go for that. Don't let me tell you anything different if that works for you, because ultimately, yeah, the more repetition you get in, for the most part, the better benefits you get from it. But let's just speak in a generalization here. Let's just speak for the most of the population. That's not going to work for most people. So in that case, you're going to want to dwindle that down quite a bit. Now, if you're doing let's just say you do like a 2-hour training day, and you would rather do that than just separating those up and doing it almost every other day or daily. So let's say you done skills training for 2 hours in one day, and that was all you did for that week. It's sort of the same thing as the training elements, training your body elements for skills training. It's going to be much more beneficial if you lower that volume down. Maybe you do an hour for one day, and then every other day you do like 20 to 30 minutes of skills training. That is going to be much better. Your body's going to adapt much better to that type of training than you would with just hitting it once a week. I think that is too much rest to allow your body to adapt. It's not going to be able to adapt as well if you give it that much of a rest. And a lot of these skills training components, it's all muscle memory. And the more often you can hit or touch on these muscle memory movements and drills, the better your body's going to get used to it, and the better it can. It's sort of like review. And the more you review it, the better it performs it. So I just think higher quality workouts, higher quality drills, and lower volume more often. It doesn't have to be every day. I'm not saying do 30 minutes of skills training every single day, although that would be great if you can make that happen. But maybe every other day or even 3 days a week or so. But I would say try to at least get like 3 days a week of 30 minutes to an hour of skills training a day. Now, if you're doing 3 days a week, you may want to try to push it to an hour. But at the same time, I just look at it like I'm in the weight room or I'm in the training room. After that 30-minute mark, it seems like the quality just goes down after a while. And you start to just work on conditioning after that, and things just get half-hearted. You're just not going to get as much gain from it. So in that sense, in my mind, I'm just like, well, I'm going to hang it up for today, and maybe I'll get it tomorrow. I'll have some more in the tank for tomorrow. But if you push through that, the quality isn't as high, so you're not going to get as much adaptation from that, and then you won't have the energy to do it the next day. So my thought process is hang it up there and get it again the next day. Once again, this is all about what is going to work best for you. So fill it out, try it out. Ultimately, as many days as you can with skills training to be able to make it work for you. My mind is try to get 3 days. If you can get 3 days a week of 20 to 30 minutes, I would be happy with that. 20 to 30 minutes of skills training for 3 days a week. That would be a pretty good week of skills training. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be a crazy amount of skills training. Now, needs to be high quality. You can't just go 20 to 30 minutes and mess around and do some crazy hook shots and half-court shots. That's not going to do anything. It has to be very structured and very specific to your goals on what you're trying to improve on the court. So, yeah, just keep all that in mind. But if you can push that up to, I don't even think 7 days a week would be necessary. That your body needs that recovery, and it's not just about physical recovery. Anyways, it needs that mental recovery as well. So if you get into just 7 days a week, unless you just absolutely love it, you just want that enjoyment of going out there and just playing the game, then that's totally fine. So that's what I used to do all the time. I used to just go out there and have fun with it, not always go out there and have a highly structured skills training session. So in that case, I would be okay with you doing it every single day. I'm not going to tell you to shave time off of that, but that is something else to think about. If you're just forcing it every day, that is not a good thing. You need more rest mentally, not just physically as well. Those are all my guidance of how often to basically train all of the components of training for your sport. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and click the bell to get notified for each one of my videos, and I'll see you guys next time.